Hello children, today we are going to learn a new chapter, Unit 1, Inspiration. Reading A, Patriotism. Now about the author, Ramendra Kumar. Ramendra Kumar is an award-winning Indian writer for children. He wrote 35 books in English and in 15 other Indian languages and 14 foreign languages. Born in Hyderabad, genre children's fiction, satire, poetry, travelogue, fictions and non-fiction books for adults. Now here chapter begins. In this chapter you see here two little children, Ajit and Nana, brother and sisters. They are talking to their grandfather Nanaji. Nanaji, what is patriotism? Asked Ajit. It means going to jail like Gandhiji and Chacha Nehru or dying for your country like Bhagat Singh, explained his sister Nana. Ajit, he asked to Nanaji, what do you mean by patriotism? Nana said that it is like going to jail or dying for your country. Yes, Nana, you are right. Who said this? Nanaji. But it also means a lot more. To be a patriot, one need not die or go to jail. One can show one's love for one's country in many small ways, Nanaji said. Nanaji said, yes, Nana, you are right. But to become a patriot, to be a patriot, you don't need to die or go to jail. You can be a patriot by showing your precious love for your country in very small ways in your daily life. Children said, how? Nanaji replied, by loving its culture and its people. Children asked, how? We can be patriot in our daily life. Nanaji said, by loving its culture and its people, we can be patriot. Okay? Now let's read further. Do you remember, Ajit? On 26th, after the Republic Day parade, a tune was being played. Children, yes, Nanaji. As soon as the tune started, you stood and continued standing till the end. Here Nanaji is trying to give one example of Republic Day parade and a tune was being played. Children said, yes, we remember, and we see that you stood up and continued standing till the tune. Do you know what the tune was? I know, Nanaji, Nana said. It was our national anthem, Jana Gana Mana. Good. But do you know why I got up and stood to attention? No, Nanaji. Why? As a mark of respect to the national anthem. Here you see that Nanaji is trying to explain the children that as a mark of respect, to show the respect to our national anthem, he used to stand up while the tune is playing. Okay? You see here, children are standing as a mark of respect to show respect to their country's national anthem in school. And unfortunately, I was the only one to do so. Your father continued to read the paper, and your mother went on with her conversations on the phone. Nanaji is trying to explain that in the family, he was the only one who used to stand up, okay? Your father continued to read the newspaper. Your mother went on with her chatting on the phone. Nanaji, he is giving one example over here, okay? Earlier, in the cinema halls, at the end of the movies, the national anthem was played. Earlier in those days, in the cinema hall, at the end of the movie, national anthem was played, okay? But it was found that the people used to leave the hall midway, laughing, shouting, and creating a racket. And while the national anthem, people in cinema hall, they used to leave the hall midway in between and laughing and shouting and creating a racket. So the government then decided to stop the playing of national anthem. Nanaji, okay, the reason why I gave you this example is to explain you that a person's patriotism can be reflected in simple day-to-day things like his respect for his language, his national anthem, or a flag, and above all, the love for his fellow countrymen. Nanaji gave this example of cinema hall to explain the small children that a personal inner patriotism can be reflected, can be seen in our daily simple life, in small things like his respect, our respect for our country's language, respect for our country's national anthem, and respect for our country's national flag, okay, and our love for our country's people, countrymen, people around us. Children said, Nanaji, I still don't understand. I thought patriotism was all about dying for one's country or making a big sacrifice. Here you see the children Ajit and Nana are still very confused. They are very confused and they still don't understand that patriotism is, according to them, is all about dying for one's country. Nanaji, yes beta, you are right. It is about big things but also little ones too. And remember, it is not the battlefield alone which produces patriot. In the battlefield of life too, you will find many matters. Okay, let me tell you a story which will help you understand better. Nanaji is still trying to make children understand what is patriotism. Okay, now he is starting a story, a small story for the children. Yahoo! Nanaji, tell me a story about dragons and dinosaurs, shouted Ajit. No, Ajit, I will tell you a story about real people and their real problems. Nanaji said, I am going to tell you the story about real, true event, true stories about real people and real problems, but not today. This Sunday, I will take you for a picnic to a small village around 100 kilometers from here. We will spend the day there and return by night. Nanaji now had a plan that on this coming Sunday, he will take the children for a picnic to a small village around 100 kilometers from there, and they were going to spend the day over there and return by night. Now Sunday arrived. On Sunday, Nanaji, Nana and Ajit, the three of them, okay? They started very early for their picnic, very early morning for their picnic. They took the first train to the village Himapad. So early morning, they took the first train to the village Himapad. 2.5 hours later, they found themselves at a tiny, dusty railway station. After 2.5 hours, they got down to a very small, dusty, tiny railway station. They got down and stepped outside. You see in the pic? A large, well-built man wearing a white dhoti and kurta and sporting a huge turban, greeting them with folded hands. When they got down to the small railway station, a very large built man means good physique man, good health man. What he was wearing? A white dhoti and kurta. He came and greeted them with a folded hands. Namaste. He led them to a bullock cart and, much to Ajit's delight, lifted and placed him on the cart. The cart toodles on for almost an hour till they finally reached the village. So they are now traveling on bullock cart, and after 1 hour, an hour means 1 hour, they reached to the destination, the village. They alighted in front of the large brick house. An elderly man and a woman came out, greeting Nanaji and fussing over the kids. They spoke in a dialect which Nana and Ajit found difficult to understand. After 1 hour, they stepped down the bullock cart in front of a large brick house. Okay, elderly man, that means old man and woman, they came out for greeting Nanaji and the children. They spoke in a dialect, in a language which Nana and Ajit could not understand, the language Nanaji was speaking with them. An hour later, after they had their breakfast, Nanaji took them to a huge peepal tree where there was a platform. They sat down and Nanaji started his story. After 1 hour later, they had their breakfast And after that, Nanaji took them to the huge people tree nearby, and they sat down on the platform. You see in the picture, the pic. And Nanaji, now he is going to start his interesting, real, true story. Okay? Now his story begins. Around 10 years ago, there was a young man whose name was Akash. He was studying to be a doctor. Now Nanaji, he began his story that around 10 years ago, earlier, a young man whose name was Akash, and he was studying to be a doctor. After he completed his MBBS, he worked hard and won a scholarship to USA. He got his master's degree and decided to come back. The full form of MBBS is Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. This is the doctor degree, okay? So Akash, he has done his MBBS, he worked hard and he won a scholarship and he went to USA. There he studied and he got his foreign doctor master degree and he decided to come back to India. Along with him, who is him? Akash. Along with him, 10 of his friends had also gone for higher studies to America. They all stayed back, but Akash returned. Along with Akash, 10 more of his friends, they were studying with him in USA. His friend stayed back in America, but Akash, he returned to India. Akash's father was not very happy with his son's decision. He was very proud that his son had got a foreign degree. Akash's father, he was not happy that his son came back to India after having a qualified foreign doctor master degree. Okay, and he was also very much proud of his son Akash that he had a medical foreign degree in his hand. He wanted his son to make America his home and earn a lot of money and finally invite his parents and sisters also to settle down in America. Akash's father, as you see in the picture, his wish, he wanted that Akash to settle down in USA, earn lot of money, fortune and fame, and afterward invite his parents and sisters to settle with him in America. But Akash was adamant. My country has spent thousands of rupees in educating me. I have to repay this debt. The only way I can do it is by serving the people here. And moreover, India and its villages need a good doctors far more than rich countries like America. Here, according to Akash, he is trying to explain his father that India has spent thousands of rupees in educating him making him doctor. Now it is the best time to repay this debt by serving the Indian people here, by giving them good treatment. Okay? And India and its villages, they need more good doctors as compared to rich country like America. Now children interrupted in between. They asked question in between the story. Okay? To Nanaji. What happened, Nanaji? Did Akash come back to India? Yes, child, he did. In the beginning, he worked in a government hospital in a city. Now children, they were quite excited and they are having interest, and what they did, they asked in between the story. What happened, Nanaji? Did Akash come back to India? Yes, child, he did. He come back to India. And in the beginning, he worked in a government hospital in a city. A year later, that means 1 year later, an epidemic broke out, disease broke out in the nearly village. When Akash learned about that, he just packed his bag and left. He didn't even inform his parents. After 1 year, disease spread, epidemic spread in nearby village. Akash, he packed his bag and left. He did not inform his parents that he is going in that disease infected villages to give them treatment. Children asked. Why? Asked Ajit. Because they would have stopped him, silly. In science, I have studied that during epidemic, sometimes the doctors who are treating the patients also die, Nana said. Ajit asked why Akash did not inform his parents and left. Nana answered him, because sometimes while treating the patient, doctors also get infected and they die. Nanaji said, yes, Nana, you are right. Yes, Nana is right. Anyway, a week later, now here Nanaji is continuing with his story. Okay? Anyway, a week later, Akash's father got a postcard from him saying that he was busy treating the patient and that the situation was very grim. But Akash did not mention where exactly he was, fearing that his father would land up and try to drag him back. After a week later, 1 week later, Akash's father, he got a postcard from postman, and in that Akash, he informed that he was very busy treating the patient and the condition over there is very serious, grim. But Akash did not mention the place, location, which village exactly he was, because he had a fear that his father would come and try to drag him back. Further, afterwards, 2 weeks later, his father received, who is his father? Akash's father, okay? Akash's father, his father received a phone call saying that Akash had been admitted in the city hospital in a serious condition. After 2 weeks, Akash's father he received a serious phone call informing him that Akash had been admitted in a city hospital in a serious condition. His parents rushed to see him. He was in a very bad state. He could barely speak. Now you see here in this chapter, now Akash is really very in a very serious condition. He couldn't speak and his parents just rushed to see him. Now you see in the pic the parents are standing in front of Akash. Why are you torturing yourself as well as us, son? Sorry. His father asked him while his mother started sobbing. Father is questioning Akash seriously. Why are you torturing yourself as well as us, son? You see your mother? Mother started crying, sobbing. Akash replied in a very humble way, very quiet way. I can't help it, father. I can't bear to see people suffer. But Akash said, I can't help people dying around me. I can't bear to see people suffer. Father, your friends are enjoying life in America, earning lot of pots of money and living in comfort. And look at you here fighting for your life. Father, he replied to him, you see your friends who were with you while studying, they were all in USA, America, they were enjoying their life, earning a lot of money, fame and living in comfort, and look at you. You over here fighting for your life. Father is still questioning Akash in a serious way. I can't understand what you are getting by doing all this. It means that what benefit did you get by doing all this? If you don't care about yourself, at least spare a thought for your poor mother. He is trying to explain, at least think about your mother, Akash. Just see her condition. She has gone half mad worrying about you. Father is trying to tell that your mother loves you. Your mother is gone half mad crying, worrying about you and about your health. Akash, Father, I don't think I will ever be able to convince you about my action. Now Akash is trying to convince his father about his action, and what he said, Father, I don't think I will be able to make you understand, to convince you about my action. What action? Coming back to India and serving Indian people, treating them in epidemic. Akash, all I can say is that I have the satisfaction that I have been able to save so many lives. Akash is deeply satisfied from his heart, from his mind, that he have been able to save so many lives in this epidemic disease. Okay? Forgive me if I have tortured you. But, please try to understand that I could not help it. I can't watch people dying all around me and not do anything. Akash is asking forgiveness from his parents for his action if he had tortured them, and he is trying to make his father mother understand that he could not help it. He could not watch people dying all around him and do nothing. Now here in this chapter, the sad, a tragic ending. After battling for a month, that means 1 month, Akash died in his mother's arms. So it's a tragic end. After battling the disease for 1 month, Akash finally he died in his mother's arms. The entire village was there at his funeral, cremation, and there was not even one eye which was dry. The entire village attended his funeral and everyone was crying for him. Okay? The villagers decided to pay homage to Akash. They launched a drive to collect donations for building a small hospital in the village. They approached the local MLA, who agreed to organize a hefty donation, thinking that the hospital would be named after him. So now the village people they decided to pay respect to the Akash sacrifice by launching a drive, a campaign for collecting a donation for building a small hospital in the village. For that this purpose, they approached to the local MLA leader for financial donation, financial help. So the village in the village, however, the villagers were adamant. They took the money, built the hospital, and called Akash parents for the opening ceremony. Akash father inaugurated the hospital. So finally the building was made and it was named Akash Memorial Hospital. You see in the picture, and it was inaugurated by the Akash father. Now let's come to the chapter. Here the story. Nanaji said, the children, "Come, I want to show you something," Nanaji said, and taking their hands in his, he led them to a building a few hundred meters behind the peepal tree. Nanaji is taking them to show them the building, okay, behind the peepal tree. You see in the pic, Akash Memorial Hospital in memory of Dr. Akash Rai, who saved this village from death. They stopped in front of a blue board. "Nana, please read what is written," Nanaji asked Nana. Akash Memorial Hospital in memory of Dr. Akash Rai, who saved this village from death. Naina looked at her grandfather. His eyes were wet with tears. Naina, after reading this blue board, she looked at Nanaji. He was crying. You see here, Nanaji was crying. Naina, she is looking at his grandfather. Nanaji, Akash Rai, but your surname is also Rai. Was he yours? Now the clever, intelligent Naina, she got the idea that Akash Rai was some belonging to her grandfather. Yes, my child, he was my son, your mother's elder brother. As a professor of philosophy, I always thought I knew everything about everything. So, who was Akash? Naina's uncle. Okay, that means her mother's elder brother. But my son taught me the true essence of the term service and the real meaning of word patriotism. Now Nanaji is trying to explain children that Akash, his son, that he's gone, and he taught him the true essence of the term service, that is self-sacrifice, selfless service, and the real meaning of the word patriotism. So this chapter is trying to teach us patriotism or national pride is the feeling of love, devotion, and sense of attachment to a homeland and its people. It means that we can be a patriot by giving our selfless service, our love to our nation, to our people, and by paying respect to our national anthem, to our country's language, and respecting our national flag. So with this topic, here we end our chapter. Hope you have understood it very well in a simple language. This will definitely going to help you out to solve your questions in your class note copy. So children, good luck with your studies. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.